So today I want to talk to you about a molecule which, when it was first isolated, was called very fast death factor. Now, this molecule is a really potent toxin, and it's found in the pond scum, the green sort of gloopy algae stuff that you find sometimes on freshwater ponds. And it's actually not algae that makes this, it's called Cyanobacteria. And that green, it turns out, is kind of really important for this molecule. As it turns out, the molecule itself is unstable to light, so nature's clever. It wants a toxic molecule for some reason in that cyanobacteria, in that algal bloom, but it didn't want it to spread too much. So as soon as you take the molecule out of that, it becomes destroyed by light. But nonetheless, don't let this fool you. This is a very, very dangerous molecule. So I've got nearly 5 grams in this round bottom flask here. That would be enough to kill around 350 people. This is a seriously toxic molecule. Now, luckily for everyone involved, this is actually in a protected form, this molecule you see here in this flask, this compound.
What does that mean?
So it's got a safety catch on it. It's got something called a protecting group, and it completely kills the reactivity of one atom in this molecule, the nitrogen atom. And that atom is key to the biological response that it will provoke. So if we quickly put that one down, here is a molecular model of anatoxin A, which is the very fast death factor. It was renamed because that was thought not to be particularly scientific, but I quite like very fast death factor. It does what it says on the tin, essentially. So here is that key nitrogen. So it turns out it's the nitrogen and this oxygen over here, and that distance, which is the key to its biological activity. It fits a certain receptor that one of your natural neurotoxins triggers. So this molecule, like I say, is a toxin, and what it does, and why it's called very fast death factor, is that it paralyses somebody who ingests it, be that an animal, a cow, a rabbit, bird or whatever that's drinking from the pond, or somebody who drinks or swims in the pond. And it works really quickly, thus the name, very fast death factor. It turns out that a lot of potent toxins actually work very slowly. It's an agonising death. It works very, very quickly, a matter of minutes rather than hours or days. What this does is it stops your brain communicating with your muscles. So nerves have two functions really. One, they tell muscles in your body to move, be that breathe, which is you're on autopilot, you don't think about breathing, but every few seconds your brain's saying breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. It does it automatically, or move your muscles. So if you stop any of those signals, then obviously your muscles stop. And if you stop breathing, you're going to die pretty quick. So obviously this compound is a very dangerous compound. So why on earth would we be interested in making this and analogues of this compound? Well, it turns out that it could be a good treatment for Alzheimer's disease. So if you imagine a nervous system as a long piece of electrical wire, and every now and again along that wire you'll get, just like you do at home, a plug in a socket where two bits of wire join. Now, in electricity, the plug and the socket are made of metal, and the electrons can hop from one to the other and there's no problem. In nervous transmission, there's a little gap in between the plug and the socket, and there's little molecules called neurotransmitters which come out of one end, they swim across the gap, and they trigger the response in the other end of the synapse, as it's called. And then the electrical signal goes on again. Now, obviously, you don't want those electrical signals to be on all the time, so the little molecule comes back out, and there's a Pac-Man type molecule which comes and munches those up to make sure that the response is gone. We now need to get rid of those and wait for the next signal. Now, in certain conditions like Alzheimer's disease, your normal neurological condition degrades somewhat. They're called neurodegenerative diseases. The nerves in your brain don't work properly. And the problem is that you get too many of these Pac-Man molecules taking up too many of those transmitters. And so your nervous system, your brain, isn't working properly. Now, it could be that molecules like this, which are able to disable these Pac-Man molecules could be very useful leads for treatment of Alzheimer's disease and other neurodegenerative diseases. So that's why, as chemists, we're interested in these things. We're not interested, obviously, in killing 350 people.